Hello everybody, and we're back at the European World Championship Qualifier 2015 in Dublin, Ireland. Now, I'm Rob Hooley, as you just saw, joining me Matt Bell. We are just going to go through a few highlights from the last round, which was Luke Smythe versus...
James
Cohen. Sorry, I've completely blanked for a second there. So, Luke has been busy beavering away at the replay machine whilst we've been going through that. So without further ado, let's just kind of jump into it. Let's go to replay 1.
So yeah, we're seeing the Book of Moon right here on the Thunder King Ryo, which is massive because that just opens Luke up to play so many plays, and he has the Denko Sekka as well. So he summons the Denko, it resolves, and then it's like, okay, now I can Book of Moon and just completely go off here. It's one of the many plays that ended up with Luke just being in such a dominating position. That first game, it felt like he just pushed the guy over. Honestly, that's just how it.
It was absolutely huge. I mean, it was really nice to see, because we were talking about the fact that he's playing Book of Moon over Book of Eclipse.
Yeah, well, either or would have been good in that situation there. So we didn't really see the strength of the pick over his other alternative option, but still, taking that Thunder King Ryo out was so important, especially after he gets the Denko down.
I mean, it is a mistake on legs.
Yeah. You could say that, or you could say mistake is a Thunder King Ryo without... No, never mind. Let's go to highlight 2.
Let's go to replay 2.
Yeah, so James here is looking at his hand, and he doesn't actually have any place to this point. So his only option here is to soul charge the Thunder King Ryo, and he does have the option of Shadow Fusion, which in that turn he didn't choose to play. He realised the strategic value of holding Thunder King Ryo was very, very strong, and that worked out for him. I mean, there was a long time where it was like, oh, Denko and Thunder King Ryo sort of facing off, but that soul charge was definitely the right play. I know some people would try and just hold it back and go, yeah, I'll take some damage and try and figure out if I've got a better play next turn, but he didn't want to give the window to Luke to get all his searching off, so playing the soul charge and then not fusing them and keeping the Thunder King Ryo was pretty good play.
So it was all about keeping that Thunder King Ryo on
That
the
was
field.
his strategy. He was making an estimate on what how strong Luke's hand was, and he said, well, his decision was, well, if he's holding a bunch of search cards, then his hand is not very strong. If he's holding all of the big guys, then I'm probably going to lose anyway, because if you look at my hand, it's awful.
So you don't want them to get the big guys. So he was basically just limiting the search. So he wanted that hand that wasn't really going to do much on its own to still not do much on its own.
Yeah, he wanted to buy time.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's go to replay number 3.
Right, so we're going to see the Denko Sekka coming down, blocking down 2 of those back row cards, and this gets followed into a Trishula. It's also in very slow motion, because this is, I imagine, how you'd see it if you were playing in the tournament and your opponent's making these plays. And there's kind of some sad music playing in the background as you see this happen.
As you've seen Trishula just hit the field and then go, oh, well, there goes that card, and
like,
that card,
and
that
that's
card.
everything. You just see Luke's like hands just do that, and he's going, like, yeah, whatever. He goes, it's Trish.
Yep.
He just shows up and he takes everything away.
Yes,
Worst
that
kind
is
of
what
house
Trishula
guess.
does. I mean, it was a good kind of turnaround for him as well, because it seemed that there was going to be some sort of nice kind of back row plays, but getting out, stopping Thunder King Ryo, having Denko Sekka, and then playing a Trish was just adding insult to injury.
Yeah, that Denko
more than
was
anything.
huge in that game. It just shutting down every step of the way. And in the main deck, so a lot of people moved over to the side because they were expecting mirror matches all over the place. So the decision that's actually helping Luke progress in the tournament might come back to bite him later if we see the trend of Necros decks continuing to win. But if he continues to face decks like this, he's in a grand position playing the main deck Denkos.
Most definitely. So let's go to the next one, which I believe is replay number 4.
Right, so very interesting thing with this here is this is the first part where Artifact Sanctum is revealed to Luke, and we're quite late in the game. So
he has just Book of Moon the Denko Sekka to be able to play it there as
yeah,
well.
he's Book of Moon the Denko Sekka, and now he's just going to flip up all of his cards to actually use them, because the Denko Sekka can just be flip summoned otherwise. So this is all in the draw phase that this happens, and it's actually a huge amount of information to give to your opponent that you're playing the artifacts, because then it makes your opponent even less likely to go for the Blind Mystical Space Typhoons. It's going to make them more cautious about your back row. They know what you can summon. You're automatically passing information that you're playing Moraltac. Your opponent's going to assume you're playing Lancia against them, because it just otherwise you just don't have enough artifact monsters.
He was basically his only way of getting rid of that field, though.
Yeah, he had to reveal that information, or it was reveal the information or concede. And if he had a chance of winning it, there's no reason to concede.
Definitely.
But the key thing there is that gives Luke a lot of information about what to side deck for what he may not have seen had James just decided, hey, I'm not going to do this. The information is more powerful. But again, I find it very weird to concede again that you could conceivably try and win.
Yeah, you don't want to give up before you've won.
Kind of defeats the point of playing.
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
Now we'll go to game 2 and to replay 5.
Oh, this is the biggest mistake we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we can keep a tally for this.
Mistake.
Yeah, it's just all of a sudden I can just imagine this big grin on Luke's face turning upside down when look at his hand. There's just so many search cards there.
Absolutely. I mean, he was just sitting on a hand that he could do nothing with anymore.
It was like holding almost like a royal flush, and his opponent then just goes
setting fire to his cards.
Oh, by the way, I've got something better. What is it? It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh,
it's Exodia.
That's a very good Yu-Gi-Oh card. And then that whole game was about Luke just trying to buy time to draw out of it, and he just wasn't getting anywhere. And that mistake single-handedly took the game away.
Took game 2 completely away from him. Now here is still in game 2. We're going to go to replay number 6.
So yeah, this is a pretty monstrous Shadol field here, and there's no fusion monsters in play yet. Key thing.
There's Michael as well.
Yeah, but
so
this is
vanishes with Michael, and then just essentially goes, "Neh," and attacks directly with everything.
Yeah.
Then stops the Valkyries with an Elshadol.
Yeah, and you actually you saw this cheeky reveal of the Shadol fusion. He's like, I'm not even going to get the guy at the extra deck. He goes, yep. And then Luke's like, yeah, okay, you've got it, whatever.
Yeah, you just won.
Mistake was enough.
Yeah, definitely. Now, so, well, it was a huge way to finish that game as well, obviously. It was absolutely massive to just be able to go, meh.
Yeah.
And then his opponent have to go, ugh.
This is part of the reason why a lot of people have gotten a lot wiser on how to deal with Shadows when they find these windows and ways to get around Valkyris or Trishula, and it takes away some of the power from the deck, which in the earlier stages of the format people hadn't sort of familiarized themselves completely with the ways to play around these scenarios.
Yeah. Now, we'll go to game 3 and to replay 7.
Okay, so this is when Luke decides he's going to go all in here, and then we see the effect failure going right at the very end on the Trishula. Luke had more than enough damage to OTK, and then we see, and he's also going to take away the Pero, and it's the effect failure actually buys the extra turn by stopping the Trishula and preventing the opponent from being able to attack directly with everything. It then goes on to block the Manju attack first, because Manju landing its attack over a Shadol monster would allow the rest of the damage in. And then Pero not used to conserve life points, but used to block the rank 4 XC summon. But in the end, it didn't matter.
It did kind of cost him the game, as we can see actually in replay number 8.
I think what cost him the game there really was just that blue wall.
Yeah, massive blue wall. He just throws his hand on the table.
Yeah,
it's essentially a case of he took a massive amount of damage by not taking out that one thing there.
The thing is, it's just a rank 4 would have just resulted in more plays, like sequence plays of going on, and just he had no real good answer there, and he was just like, okay, I'm going to limit my opponent's option. That's my best option.
So you're thinking maybe he'd have gone, well, I'm not going to get my attacks through, so maybe I'll go for a Gin Lock just to stop my opponent doing anything?
Yeah,
he could have gone from there, surely.
Absolutely. Either way, it didn't matter. That last game was just Luke just smashing things.
Definitely.
Very, very aggressively.
Yeah, it's just like, I've got a big blue elephant, I'm just going to run it into things.
Yeah, well, that was like a shark riding an elephant right there. It was just like, that would actually be quite terrifying.
A shark riding an elephant would be terrifying. You are right.
There we go.
It's not something that we really want to think about.
I should write that idea down. You know,
shark riding elephant. So if any film director has Sharknado was a thing.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a thing.
Anyway, so that was an absolutely fantastic game. Luke playing his absolute best there. Just seeing Necros completely and totally tear through Shadow. So it'd be really, really nice. We're going to be seeing a lot more games like that.
Especially the Shadow teched against him so heavily. I
Yeah.
favoured that round 1 so much in James's favour.
And it
Didn't matter. It
just
didn't matter.
didn't matter.
Yeah, sharks and
Absolutely.
elephants.
Sharks and elephants. So that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very, very much, Matt.
Thank you.
We're going to be looking to move on to the next round very, very soon. So we'll see you very, very shortly.